Ignition sequence start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening! You're listening to the Realist Podcast, and welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. We got ourselves another great show. We got Jerry The King Lawler, more info on the brand split, and, well, some more negative news on Roman Reigns, and this people could possibly come out and say, oh, these guys are, haters on Roman Reigns. Don't hate the guy, don't like his character. That's more of what this is. So, let's just get into it. But I actually have a story I want to tell before we do get into the show. Let's just label this story pizza drama. All right, listen. It's Thursday night. I'm an avid video game player. These two know that. I'm playing Rainbow Six. You're having a good time, and my brother walks in. Hey, someone's at the door. Well, I mean, my first initial reaction was, all right, open it. He comes back and says, did you order a pizza? I said, no. So I go up to the door. It's the pizza guy. Says, what's up? He says, is this 435 Triangle? Basically gives my address. He says, yeah, that's my address. He says, well, I got a pizza. I said, I didn't order a pizza. He says, well, is it for Cameron? I said, no. He said, oh, well, all right, my bad. Might have been wrong address. So then, I'm thinking, okay, someone just decided to order a pizza and, could have pranked us. Whatever. My sister is 15, and, they're at that age where pranking is cool. So I then get a text message from my mom. Reads, hey, did you really decline that pizza when Camden paid for it? Reminder, pizza guy said Cameron. My mom's best friend is Camden with a D. Camden, Cameron. All right. I tell him that. Well, pizza guy said Cameron. Well, what the hell? You guys knew that. I said, no, I didn't. Then my sister walks in. The pizza was for you guys. Are you serious? The guy said, Cameron, I'm not accepting the pizza. Look, let's get this out of the way. I'm not going to accept the pizza because, one, it's not mine. Mm-hmm. Two, I didn't have the cash, but even though it was on the card, I'm not going to accept the pizza because what if it wasn't ours? Someone calls in and says, hey, where's my pizza? Well, so-and-so accepted it. I don't know how much trouble you can get into for doing that, but I'm sure it's a good bit because you're signing off on someone's card, so you're basically stealing their money. So I then wait, I'm like, okay, look, no one told me. My sister's coming in here. You didn't do this. You're an idiot. And it was like, first off, motherfucker, you didn't walk out. You left the house. Yes, my sister leaves the house while the pizza's on its way. Why wouldn't you tell me, hey, we're leaving? Just letting you know, there's a pizza on the way.
There's a little ancient invention. It goes back to the dawn of time. It's called a note.
It's not even that. Like, my mom's not home. My sister's right across the hallway from me. My door's open. Like, what? Mm. Hey, just letting you know, pizza on the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. So I'm not going to accept a pizza that's not mine. So then, I feel bad because the guy has to pay for it. He had to pay for it. There's no, oh, well, we can't just say a refund. So I felt really bad. But that's how that day went, that entire day. It's every single time I was having fun playing video games, something happened. So
you didn't get your pizza?
Actually, we did get pizza. He ordered another one. He was being the homie, but he was having a bad day. I felt really bad for him.
You just wanted some pizza, man. That's all he wanted.
I don't look. Even though I really don't want to put his business on here. Let's just say he was having lady problems.
Oh,
and she did something bad. Let's just say that.
Oh, I got you. So,
So he was having a bad day. So I felt really bad.
Yeah,
So
dude, the man just wanted his pizza, dude.
who knows? So look, Jerry the King Lawler. Let's get into some wrestling news, all right?
Let's do
Jerry
it.
the King Lawler suspension has been lifted. The charges of the assault case, or what was it, or domestic violence case, is gone. Both of them, the charges are dropped. So his suspension has been lifted. So a lot of people have been having problems because there was a gun involved, and now WWE will have him back on the at the announce table right away.
hmm
So is it good that they're allowing him to come back even though there's a gun involved, or is it kind of like it's whatever? I mean, look, I'm just saying WWE has been in so much shit lately. A couple months ago it was Adam Rose and Connor, and now it's Jerry the King Lawler and Roman Reigns. Like, they can't catch a damn break.
Yeah, they really can. Even though the charges were dropped, I mean, either way, like it's still domestic. It was still domestic violence, and what it was, they still went to jail, and the gun was still involved. So even if the charges are dropped, it's still a bad look for the company either way.
I'm just saying, I sound like a wife beater. What I'm about to say, I really am going to sound like a wife beater.
Oh, jeez.
It's unreal how big and crazy domestic violence has gotten. Like, how big and crazy people are taking domestic violence in the recent years. With the NFL is understandable. Ray Rice whipped her ass when she was down and everything. That was still to this day unbelievable.
Right.
But it's unreal how crazy domestic violence is right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I can't believe like how prominent it is right now.
Well, you have to understand that there was alcohol involved in the situation.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
a
true.
lot of domestic violence disputes are because of alcohol or while under the influence of alcohol or drugs.
And let's be clear, Jerry the King Lawler, if I'm not mistaken, he doesn't drink. I've read multiple reports saying that he's not a drinker. And he actually came out in the first comments. He says when she drinks, she usually gets aggressive.
Mm.
So I don't know, but how do you guys feel about him returning after the whole domestic violence case, there being a gun involved, all of that? Do you think that it's kind of like, okay, too soon, he needs to really serve the suspension, or is he good?
I think it's too soon. I mean, I definitely, like I said, even though the charges are dropped, either way, it still happened, and it's still a big deal that it happened no matter what. Especially, like you said, a gun being involved no matter what the situation was. I do think it's too soon. I think they should wait on it. But, I mean, WWE's going to do what WWE's going to do at the end of the day.
Look, this is where you start to question it. Okay, so the charges are dropped. First of all right, let's backtrack. So Jerry the King Lawler, you hear about this whole scenario. What's the first thing WWE does?
They suspend him, and it's also a he said,
Suspend
she
him
said.
right away.
It's also
Exactly.
a he said, she said. It has not been clear.
So without any real information, they automatically say the safe bet is to suspend him and him off TV.
Which is a good call.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah,
is a
of
good
course.
call. And now all of a sudden you're hearing that it wasn't a big deal, it was dropped, and they're immediately putting him right back in a hornet's nest. But look at that whole situation. Just really take a minute to soak it in. Compare that to Titus O'Neil. What did Titus O'Neil do to get suspended?
He got suspended 60 days for touching the boss. All
And
he did
let's
was grab
clarify.
the boss. And
Let's
he got
clarify. Did he punch Vince? Did he push Vince?
Fucking Vince pushed him. Vince turned around. What the fuck, motherfucker?
But I mean, look at that. Look at that scenario. Like how quickly WWE was willing to suspend Jerry Lawler for something serious, and then quickly reinstitute him. And then guys like Titus O'Neil, who really don't deserve to get suspended for quote unquote clowning around, he gets suspended for 60 days, and we really didn't see him come back to TV right away.
Right. Well,
And then you see Jerry the King Lawler right back into TV.
I noticed.
Like, it just got to be frustrating. I'm sorry. It's got to be frustrating from the audience's perspective as much as the locker room's perspective. I mean, you look at Jerry the King Lawler. Yes, he's been around for forever, but you got to take a look at the idea that you don't only see ideas of discrimination, like in my opinion, it's discrimination, the difference between the two cases there, and favoritism. Obviously, Jerry King Lawler is more favorited than somebody as like a Titus O'Neil.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to defend Jerry here. He did go through all the rough times, but whenever they were getting beat by WCW, I'm sure maybe there was an offer there for him to leave to go join WCW, just like they offered everyone
Hmm.
in WWE. But
Oh, easily.
another case to look at is if Roman Reigns wasn't going through what he's going through, there's a good chance this would be huge right now. But right now, it's taking. I mean, for Jerry's case and WWE's, well, I would say more of Jerry's case. He's kind of getting by with one because with Roman Reigns suspension and all the news that's coming out about him.
Hmm.
So look, speaking of Roman Reigns, let's get right into him. All right.
Let's do it.
Roman Reigns, apparently,
Superman.
this is by multiple sources. I can't. If I was to put all the links in the bio in the description, it'd be way too many. So, Roman Reigns has apparently the reason why he failed the test, the wellness policy, and again, the wellness policy is basically a drug test. So apparently, what was in his system was PEDs, which is understandable. Apparently, there was also marijuana, which is kind of another thing that's kind of understandable, and I'll give my two thoughts on that. And he had ecstasy in him. Again, we do not know if this is 100% true. WWE, of course, will never comment on this, but these are from multiple reports. My favorite, the Inquisitor, has reported on this. There's so many that are saying it's ecstasy.
Hmm.
So, look, if it is ecstasy, that's a hardcore drug.
Yeah, that really is. I don't know why he'd be doing it. I mean, I can understand why people do it in general, but like, man, especially like being in this company, you got to think about, okay, well, I can't be doing this right now at all, or else like, obviously the wellness policy, he'll end up doing that, get in trouble, and then be taken off. Like, this is a big deal, and I don't know, I can't see why he'd be doing it. It's
Honestly,
not a good idea.
let's be real. I mean, Roman Reigns, he's a younger guy.
Yeah.
He's on top of the world right now. He's probably has more pressure than a lot of the guys in the back do right now to do well. And like especially when he goes into these arenas and tries to get people behind him and gets a plethora of booze, I don't blame him for wanting to go out and party. I mean, I'm going to defend Roman Reigns here, and I'm not the biggest fan of Roman Reigns. I don't think any of us on the show are, in terms of like what he's doing right now. But you got to keep in mind, there's a lot of top WWE superstars that did in fact like to party, and have a record of partying. I mean, one of the bigger ones that I can mention right now is Randy Orton, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I mean, he has been known to fail drug tests because he liked to go out and party, and
He wasn't on
with
top
the
when
drugs
all that
aside,
happened either.
he I would say he was kind of on top.
Well, you
he
could
was
say
he was
Jeff
on the rise.
Hardy.
He was on the rise.
Jeff Hardy's
Jeff Hardy.
a big one. He was on top for a while. I mean, he hasn't been on top of the mountain, but I mean, he's been pretty close, and he's had a lot of issues with
But-
drugs. He's a huge guy in this.
Let's be real though. I mean, it is life, and people
Yeah.
do make mistakes. It
Yeah.
is not it's not rare for somebody to go out and want to try some of this stuff. Not that I'm promoting it, not that I've ever tried it or ever want to try it. Let me put that out
Andrew
there.
does
I've never had
ecstasy
drugs.
confirmed. Wait, what?
Yes, I do not do anything, nor do I want to. Let me clarify. But I know that people in general will have a moment of weakness and want to try stuff like that. Maybe he's been doing it a while. I don't think so. But, let's just keep in mind he is human and he does make mistakes. Like, I don't think this is as big of a deal as everybody's making it. For the company, absolutely a big deal. But, like, in terms of, like, his character and, like, what he does for the company and for the kids, not so much.
That's bad.
Look, this is the guy that you're wanting to be the quote-unquote inspiration for your kids. This is the guy that you want your kids to look up to. And he's getting in trouble for this, or he did this. Again, this isn't 100% confirmed. I mean, we won't know that unless he comes out and says something. But look,
Right.
if he did get caught with that, this is this is the guy you want kids to look up to. This is the top hero, quote unquote. So look, I think what he fucked up. He needs to be put down in the mid card. He doesn't need to be around that main event for a while until he can
Really?
unless he can prove to the company that he can stay clean. Now, look, I'll defend him on marijuana. I don't smoke. I don't do anything. I'm straight edge. I don't do anything. Never drank anything. Haven't had a cigarette. Nothing. But the guy travels every day basically. Rarely is at home, and marijuana is one of those things that make you relax and chill. So maybe one day he decided, you know what, I'm really stressed out. I'm getting booed every single time I walk out that ramp. Even our house shows, the guy's getting booed out of the building. And house shows is where the kids go. That's where you'll find 90% kids, 10% smart crowd. Just straight honest. But when he's getting booed out of everything, and his house shows money-wise is going downhill. Look, this is what he probably felt like it was a good idea to do it, and he did it. The system was in him, but look, I'm more upset at the fact that if the ecstasy thing is true, that's what I'm more upset about, and that's where I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, that's so bad. I mean, like you said, we don't know for sure if it is, but I mean, the other stuff, like you said, is more understandable for all that. But I mean, the ecstasy is really like, dude, come on, man. Like, I get wanting to maybe loosen up, party, that kind of stuff, but like, no, it's not okay. Especially the level you're at, especially this, and like you said, a perfect point was especially what they're using him for in the company, for it to be, like you said, the guy the kids can look up to, all this stuff, basically like kind of the face of the company at the moment, kind of thing, and he's doing this, like,
you know
no.
how wrong that sounds, though. Take a second to think about what you guys just said.
What?
Based off his position in the company and what they're trying to do with him, it's such a big issue.
Okay,
if
yeah,
this was
I mean,
anybody
yeah.
in the lower cards, you're telling me this wouldn't be a big deal?
No, it would still be a huge deal.
It'd be
It
a
still
big
would
deal,
be, but it's
it
just,
wouldn't be in
I
the
think it's
news
more
like
of a
it is
bigger
now.
deal.
Let's be honest. If it was somebody on the lower cards like AJ
They'd be
Neville or
gone.
something like that, they'd be gone for good.
Oh yeah,
we wouldn't
like
even
Adam
be
Rose.
discussing
Look at
this.
Adam Rose.
Like Adam Rose is gone, and he wasn't even doing anything wrong.
The best way
Honestly.
to put this is they make money off of what he does and what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
They profit off of him, so they're not going to get rid of him. Now, if it's Adam Rose, they're getting rid of him. As soon as the domestic violence case came out, he's gone.
Yeah.
If these same events would have happened with Roman Reigns and well, I mean, I guess you could say it kind of is because the XC. Oh well, no, because there's no domestic violence. If he was to get in trouble for what he has now and then a domestic violence, he would still be in the company.
Mm-hmm. That's so bad, man. People get treated different. I understand why it happens, but it's still just so shitty. Like, it's not fair.
Look, I think the guy deserves, even if it was just marijuana and PEDs, he needs to be at the mid card for a while. That way, the WWE doesn't catch a lot of heat from it.
Which that'll never happen, but yeah, I agree with you.
But to keep the guy in the main event, he's going to main event a pay-per-view next month, and we're still going to have him, be with the title, going for the title. Will he win? Dude, don't get me started if he wins.
No, he will not win. No, there's
Don't
no
get me
way.
started if he wins that title.
There's no way. Another big issue to me, though, is that
if we know that he's not going to win, then why have him in this match?
just for entertainment purposes, it's a Shield clashing at a pay-per-view. That's all it is.
I'm not saying this. I'm not saying it ruined the match for me, but Roman Reigns being in there, it kind of pisses me off.
Right.
Because
Well, keep in mind what I said last time. Last time I got a few articles that were saying that Vince has an idea to push Roman at it when he comes back from this. They want to have a redemption story and try to get people behind him. Of
That's
course,
not gonna
good luck.
happen.
It's not going to
Never.
happen. But if that's what their plan is, I could definitely see him winning the title.
he needs to
And
go
that would
back
be
as
a big
heel.
move. That would be a big, really stupid move. You should
Mhm.
have Ambrose with the title for at least 3 to 4 months.
It'll
Well,
happen.
you heard the crowd last Monday when Seth Rollins. By the way, I still tip my hat to Seth Rollins because he played it perfect by playing the. It seemed like he was going to go off script and go, because he paused for the right amount of time. Sitting there, you could tell he was thinking about it. He says, "You know what? Hey, this is live TV. I have a microphone in my hand. Let's talk about Roman Reigns."
Oh, absolutely.
And I
That was
tweeted out
great.
immediately, it looks like he's about to go off the script. So, when he started, saying, well, Roman Reigns this, Roman that, there was more boos and a Monday Night Raw that oh man, you could tell, like, even the kids weren't cheering for him. He got booed.
Mm-hmm.
So let's try to get everyone behind him. Hey, I did drugs. I'm good now. Woo!
It's rough, man. And even like,
And I'm sorry, I'm cutting
No,
you
that's
off.
fine. No,
The
that's cool.
only way I could see this even being possible of getting someone behind him is kind of do what they did last time with this last, with the push, the current push, basically. Have him lose basically everything. He can't catch a break. That'd be the only way he'd be able to get like kids behind him again. Is if, and that's also if the kids don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
But who hasn't heard about this to this point? You know,
You're
it's,
right.
It's broadcasted everywhere on every social media website you can ever think of. It's
They
there.
even showed it on
and
Raw
it pops
too,
up
though.
every time I open up Facebook, like one of the first things that pops up is Roman Reigns on my feed every time. So I mean, like, the kids have to know at this point, and if they don't, it's because their parents haven't said anything or are trying to keep it from them, or they just are too young to
They
understand.
also might not know why he's suspended, because all
Yeah.
they did was put his thing on the billboard or on the jumbotron. That's all they did. It was just like, oh well, he's not gonna be here for a while, and they're not gonna say why. And, you say for the wellness policy, the kids don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, kids might still be behind him, but that's the only way you could even possibly have someone behind him, is if you do the losing thing. He can't catch a break, and, you can't do it quick. I mean, when he gets
Honestly,
back,
dude,
have him have this title match, and he needs to go to the mid-card section.
I could do you one better. The better way to get people to get into what he's doing, have him turn heel. This is when you finally have the straw that breaks the camel's back. You can't come back from this, turn him heel. Maybe in a few years down the road, have him turn face again. You might get some people behind him then.
Well, that's the thing. WWE plays it safe. They don't take a chance, and where the ratings are and where we are now with the current product, it'd be perfect to take a chance and do something crazy. But they're not going to. They're going to take the safe route, and they're going to keep him face.
Right. Unfortunately.
So, I mean, look, I can go on and on and on about this, but it's a waste of breath, and it's a waste of time. I've been saying for months, I've even given out how you could have made him heel, but it's, it won't happen. The guy the guy messed up. He's quote unquote, he's owning it. He knows he's messed up, but the guy needs to be at mid-card. And you know what? We can't play the game that WWE isn't at fault here. Don't forget, the company was going to let him not be suspended and just take the belt away from him as a punishment.
What in their right minds, and really think about it, would make them think that was the best solution? Knowing how easy it is for people to get a hold of sensitive information like that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how it got out, unless the people that did the drug test said something, or there's a website you can go check.
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they say something? Because it's big news. It can blow up, and there's a lot of news industries that would push for something like that.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, look at the guy from the last UFC event before Brock Lesnar. He heard about it and knew about it, and he leaked it. And he got banned from UFC from being allowed, ringside. He got carried out. Just think. I mean, like, UFC was going to announce that. He got kicked out for it. But, his ban got lifted, of course. But he was just doing his job.
Right.
Yeah.
But, also, even, the greatest example, and especially recently, from watching, the TV show, like with O.J. Simpson, people were coming out saying anything they can because news outlets were paying people to do that. So I'm sure that's what happened. He's like, hey, I got a story for you. Will you pay me to tell you? And what's the story? Guess what? Roman Reigns failed the wellness policy. Oh, here's some cash.
There you go, man.
I don't know. I mean, look, we've kind of burned out this topic now. If there is it, do you guys have anything else you guys want to get off your chest about Roman Reigns?
I mean, just one thing to think about. I mean, yes, the Shield, they have a storied history. We know that, but we have a pay-per-view coming up with the huge. This is a pretty huge main event, even though with Roman Reigns happening. Still, people love it. The Shield facing off with the WWE World Heavyweight Title. Still, so we're not going to be the idea that we're not going to be seeing Roman Reigns, at least most likely, until Battleground is pretty. That's going to be awful because I mean, we're going to see Raws and Smackdowns go by where it's just going to be what? It's just going to be Dean and Seth doing stuff. I mean, I think that might affect the main event. To be honest with you, yes, like I said, there's already a great story behind it. The Shield, they were brothers, and then they like Seth Rollins betrayed them, all that stuff. But they could still build more of a story and have a great leading up to Battleground. But we're not going to see that now. It's just going to be Seth and Dean doing their own thing. I think it might affect the main event. I don't think it's going to be like as good in my opinion because of that, because of not seeing Reigns be able to like help build a story, build the feud, that kind of thing up more.
In a way, you could say Dean Ambrose kind of took over for him in his promos,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and that's really it. It's, well, Seth, I really don't like you, but Roman, he owned it. It's whatever.
I guarantee we're gonna see like Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, and John Cena be doing things together, like tag team matches, stuff like that.
One thing they could do when Roman does return that would be interesting is not to draft him during the draft.
That would be
for
interesting.
for him to come back and say, "Well, where am I going?"
That'd be interesting. I would think that would be really cool.
He'll miss the draft. By the way, Brock Lesnar will be back on WWE television at the draft.
Yay!
Yeah, I heard about that.
So
Andrew's excited.
I guess
I'm
he'll
a
be.
big Suplex City enthusiast.
I guess he'll be drafted. I don't know. Here's my thing about Brock Lesnar. He can lose this fight and get injured during this fight at UFC 200, and it wouldn't mean a thing because he's not on television. There's no one. I mean, there's no one else for him to wrestle.
I mean, you could probably find someone.
Well, the rumor is it's going to be Kevin Owens, but if Kevin Owens wins, it doesn't mean anything for him.
I would love
That
that
would be
feud more than
insane.
anything.
Well, that's the thing.
That would be a great feud.
Here's the
Come
thing.
on.
If Kevin Owens wins, it doesn't mean anything for Kevin Owens. It doesn't do anything for Kevin Owens.
I feel like that's a big push, beating somebody like Brock Lesnar, who really hasn't
If he
lost.
had
Look at
if he
his
had a
statistics.
belt,
He's
it'd be
literally
a
never
push.
lost.
It means
he
nothing.
almost never loses something. So I mean,
He's never
that's
been
one
pinned.
thing. He could be
He's
like
been
the
pinned.
guy. He could be the guy behind the guy who pinned Brock Lesnar. Come
Well,
on, man! If that doesn't put him first in line for a title shot, I
It
wouldn't know
doesn't.
what else is, man.
It really doesn't.
He took out the Beast Incarnate.
That
That's
doesn't matter.
That does a huge push for his career, man. He could brag about that till the cows come home.
You can brag about it, but it doesn't mean shit. Hey, guess what? I beat Brock Lesnar. Oh yeah, did you get anything? No. Well, that sucks.
I mean, we could see Brock going up for the WWE World Heavyweight Title
No.
against Ambrose. Or
Keep
something.
him
Keep him
away.
out of the
Keep him
out of
away
the
from it.
championship.
I agree with you, but
You
I
need
think they
that-
could easily do that.
You need the title on television. You don't need it on television every now and then.
No, I know. I agree 100%. I'm just saying, I guarantee you, with what WWE does, with the decisions they make, I can definitely see them sending Brock after the title.
I mean,
again.
it is pretty awesome to see, people doing promos on people and, not the title not being there. I mean, CM Punk was delivering promos on The Rock, and The Rock would only show up whenever he wanted, basically. I mean, it's same thing with Brock Lesnar. I mean, he doesn't even show up with the title. Paul Heyman's there, sure, but it's like, cool.
Right.
Really doesn't mean anything.
I don't know, dude. Like, I've enjoyed a lot of the Brock Lesnar matches recently. Like, the only exception, and I would say, would be Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose. And I mean, that was an okay match, but
I
they
was
really
there.
didn't deliver.
That wasn't even okay.
And-
That was awful.
And I mean, like, Dean Ambrose wanted to do so much more, but they didn't let it happen. You know?
Of course. Because PG. Can't do it because the kids.
Look, Lesnar needs to stay away from the belt. I haven't been interested in Lesnar since, I guess you could say, SummerSlam. Because there's no one else for him to wrestle. He already wrestled Cena. He wrestled Triple H. I mean, he had the title. He did his, everything with the title. I mean, do you want to give him the title again? I mean, it's kind of keep it away from him, but what is it for him? There's nothing there.
I don't know. It's just,
Well, if you give him
Brock
the
Lesnar.
title, there's more pay-per-views where your title is not being defended. And that's not what the title needs right now.
Well, no, he would defend it at pay-per-views. He just wouldn't wrestle on TV, and he probably wouldn't be
there
on
was
TV.
a great amount of time where he didn't defend it on TV. And people had to do other things for the main event. And, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, it's not going to be every pay-per-view that he's going to be defending this title if he is to come back and win.
I don't know. I just do not think it's a great idea or good idea at all. He
I don't know,
defended
but
it.
it's
He
possible.
defended it at Night of Champions. I don't know. Doesn't tell me who did it there. Okay, he didn't do it at Survivor Series. Doesn't tell me there. Gotta love, promoting stuff from WWE.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a good idea to give him the belt, but I could easily see WWE making a decision where, okay, well, Brock's coming back.
He defended it at the Royal Rumble. He didn't defend it at Fastlane because it makes sense. It's either Daniel Bryan or Roman Reigns defended it at WrestleMania. If I'm not mistaken, he wrestled for it. No, that makes he didn't wrestle. I mean, then he was off TV until Battleground.
I honestly want to see like Lesnar and Rollins have a feud. I would love to see that.
They already have.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but like
their
bring it
feud was
back.
amazing. I'll be honest.
They could easily bring it back.
I really don't care. Let's move on because I don't like talking about Brock Lesnar.
I got you. That's it.
Brand split. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
look, I like Brock Lesnar, but like it's kind of gotten old and stale with the whole part-time wrestlers now.
Yeah, I got you.
So, news going from a podcast excuse me, a podcast I listened to. I do not remember his name, and this is kind of messed up that I'm even, I'm trying to give him a shout out, but it's a Pittsburgh wrestling podcast. And apparently, shout out to him. He's a big insider, of course, and I can't remember his name. He says that he has intel from WWE people that the Monday Night Raw and SmackDown stages will be revamped. The ropes will be different colors. SmackDown referee will have blue t-shirt or blue shirts. Raw will be getting revamped with a new theme and new video boards, obviously. And SmackDown, I think, might have the same thing. I don't know. If they do, then it's kind of whatever. And he said the biggest issue right now that the WWE officials have is the fact that they can't get anything done with these video intros because they don't know who's going where.
That's the biggest issue with this.
So, I kind of got what I wanted out of this. What do you guys think? And then we can end the show.
No, absolutely, I agree because them doing this brand split, honestly, they could have honestly really half-assed it where they just did Raw here, SmackDown here, just keep everything the same, that kind of thing. I'm ecstatic that they're doing new theme, new looks with the whole Titantron, everything, stage, everything like that. The refs are getting new shirts, the ropes are being done, just everything like that. They're going all out with it. That's what they needed to do doing this brand split to do it perfectly, is to do everything different, like what we had before. We had Raw and SmackDown looking completely different. Everything was it was like a whole 180 of a show, and that's what they need to do, and they're doing that now, which is amazing. Like I said, new theme, new stage, new everything, and they're doing it perfectly. Because if they would have half-assed it, it would have been absolutely ridiculous. People would have hated all that stuff. But I think people are going to love it a lot more that we're seeing not even just two shows that are going to be live now, and with back to how it is, like the split where we're going to have separate superstars on one show, separate on another one. Now we're having everything back to where everything's going to be different. You're watching a different show every week, not just where you watch Raw and then kind of the Raw aftermath falls into SmackDown.
Yeah, I was letting it open for Andrew. I guess he didn't.
Well, keyword split.
Mm-hmm.
End of the day, split, and that's what they needed to do, and it's from what it sounds like is what they're trying to do.
Split.
And
Split.
yeah, split. Yeah, that's it. The key word. It has
Split.
to be a complete split. Split. Big split. 7-10 split, right?
Split.
We're talking about bowling.
7-10 split.
Split.
All right, well.
All right, enough of that. All right, so you have to have those two separate identities if you're going to make this work. And honestly,
Exactly.
I don't think it's enough. I
Really?
really think that they should have differences in titles. Of course, you have the tag
split.
team titles. Split, yeah. But here's the deal. We got the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. I guarantee
WWE Championship now. It's being promoted
Right,
as WWE
that's what I'm saying.
Championship.
it will be the WWE Championship and then the World Heavyweight Championship probably, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is going to be your Intercontinental title, your U.S. title. I honestly think they should add more titles.
I think there was
Give
rumors
the
about
talent
that.
more chance to shine. You have more talent on different shows. Bring back a good title or make a new title. I mean, everyone's going to disagree with me on this, but it would never happen on the PG era. But my favorite title back in the day was the Hardcore title.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Whatever happened, they don't have to bring in the Hardcore title. They could have make up a title that has a similar stipulation where it could be defended any time, any place. You know what I mean? That would bring a lot of interest into it. I mean, one of the things that made John Cena such a popular champion, aside from being John Cena, Superman, right, is the
Hmm.
idea that he came in every single week, every night on Raw, and defended the United States Championship, open
No, no,
challenge.
you can't say that that's why he is so popular. He was just as popular, if not
Well,
more
no,
popular
one
before.
of the reasons why he was popular in terms of being a champion as of right now, what raised the United States Championship up? Let me clarify. Was the idea that he was defending that title against anybody at any time as the champion. He was saying, "Let's if you want some, come get some."
You can
Right?
do that, but you have to also look at it this way. Cena produces 5-star matches just about against anyone he wrestles.
Hmm.
Honestly, there's a lot of
If
people on
you
the
if
rosters that
you
do put on 5-star matches. There's
I
women in
disagree
the division
hardcore.
that put on
I disagree
5-star
hardcore.
matches.
Disagree
Yeah,
very
not
I
everybody can do what
disagree.
Cena does.
I never said that they do what Cena does, but I know there's a lot of people in the locker room who have put on 5-star matches, especially the women,
Well, the Miz
and
has
have
put
the
on a
talent
five
to
star
put on
match,
a
but he
five
had
star.
three other wrestlers that basically did it for him.
Hmm.
So look, it depends on who has this title, and it also can get old and dull if you do that. It's kind of like the TNA TV Championship. They
I
had
was
that.
just thinking of it. Yeah.
It was a weekly thing, and at first you're like, oh, dude, this is pretty good. This is pretty damn good. Then it got really old and really dull.
I think they could. I think WWE could do something like that. Though, like defend it on a weekly basis, kind of thing. I think it'd be possible. It would be great to see because, like you said, the perfect point was about what Johnson did for the U.S. title. That was great to see. Like, okay, I'm gonna tune in the Raw, and I can't wait to see the U.S. like Open Challenge. That was great to see.
Right.
I think they could do that with some kind of title, like
And
like you
it
said, the TV
paved the
title.
way. It paved the way for new talent to get introduced to the show, like Sami Zayn.
Exactly.
People who didn't know who Sami Zayn was, they knew who he was by the end of that night because he put on a 5-star match with John Cena.
Hmm.
And that's how people are going to get recognized. You do something and give them a chance to go out there and perform, and that's what's important.
Yeah, and I would like to see them. I mean, I could be wrong here. I do want to see them split up the tag team titles, though. I would like to see like one on Raw, one on SmackDown.
I
Personally.
feel like that isn't going to happen right away. I feel like that's going to be a transitional thing. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
agree,
mean?
but I think that'd be good to do, though. I think they definitely need to do that, though. I mean, the Divas title,
I
you can
mean,
keep one, okay, but I think tag
for
team
the
should be
women's
done.
championship, I would say, and if you go into any interview, and I know when I was at Comic Con and Sasha Banks spoke, and they asked her, "Hey, would you be open to doing more types of matches, like a ladder match, for example?" And she said, "Any," and of course, this is what all of them are going to say, and it's honestly true. I mean, especially when you see the Iron Woman match, from NXT between Sasha and Bailey, that they can do anything a man can do, and sometimes better. I totally agree with that. I would like to see the women's division expand. Have them do more of the matches that men are seen doing. I want to see a ladder match. I want to see more Iron Man matches because the women there are talented and could put on a show if they're given the time to do so.
One thing they could do is have the tag team division on one brand, the women's division on another brand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it that way. Monday Night Raw, if will be like the women's division. Sunday, and then SmackDown could be the tag team division. You could do that, but we won't know until we see it. I've heard nothing about more tag team belts being made. And
Well,
again, they need to stick to the women one title belt for the women's division.
right. I think it would be a backstep if they have women on both shows, because
Yeah,
then you have
I
people that
agree.
can't challenge for the women's championship. I think, they've been pushing the women's revolution. I think they should keep it on one show, predominantly Raw. That way, they keep their momentum.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the women's momentum has went downhill a lot in the past couple of months. It would also make zero sense to have this or do this when to have the belts, have two belts, because you could have one with Bailey and then one with like Sasha, and it'd be like, It's
Right.
cool that they're both champs, but it'd be awesome if they wrestled each other. So yeah, I think one would be enough, but I don't know. I think that's kind of all the time we have today.
Aw.
I mean, we can go on for the brands for pretty much like all day long. There's so many possibilities, so many things that could happen, so many things that most likely will happen, won't happen. There's a lot of things we can go on about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we will see you guys Monday, but be sure to hit that like button if you're enjoying what you're listening to. Hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss a show. We go live every Monday night with a Monday Night Raw review. Soon, when the brand split happens and the draft happens, we go live with SmackDown every Tuesday night right after SmackDown. Wednesdays is in-game every other week. We didn't do a show this week. We have some family stuff going on. But we should be doing one not this coming up week, but next week. Thursdays is next big thing. Everything you want to need to know about NXT storylines, what we think, our opinions. Saturdays is keeping it real. Obviously, you're listening right now. Unless you're listening on another day, you could be roasting me for that right now and left. But every time there's a live pay-per-view or live event or NXT event, we will be live for a pre-show and results. Also, people, be safe for July 4th. If you're drinking, be sure to be smart. Give your keys to someone.
Absolutely.
And do not drive. Cops are going to be out all weekend. Be safe and have a great time. Also, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/Realist Podcast, and search us on Facebook, just The Realist Podcast, and our @ on Twitter is @Realist Podcast. Again, guys, be safe if you're drinking and you're having a good time. Don't do anything dumb. Have a great time. Happy 4th of July. For Kyle Lepore, Andrew Bass, I'm Blake Carter, and until next time, peace out.